Well, hi there. I'm Michael Hausum of the Hausum Group at Vista Pacific Realty, and this is the Orange County Real Estate Marketplace Update for the week ending September 10th. So, it is still a seller's market, ever so very slightly, but it still is. People are expecting prices to change, prices to drop, the market to bottom out. It's just not happening. And the reason for that is supply. There aren't enough houses on the marketplace to make a dent in the prices that are still slowly increasing. Now, there are two reasons for that. Number one is quite simple. There's not that many people selling their homes because at least the traditional move-up market in Orange County kind of doesn't exist anymore. There's not that many people that are selling their existing home and moving to another one here in the county because frankly, they can't afford it. If I look back at all the listings that I've sold this year, only one of them was a traditional move-up buyer. And even in that case, they had a substantial amount of help from family members. The second reason that people aren't selling their homes is that even though they may not love their home, in fact, they may not like their home at all, and there's a bunch of things they'd rather have different, but what they do love, they love their 2.5 or even less rate of interest that they've got in their mortgage. Looking out right now into the marketplace in the high 5% range, if currently you're paying 2 3/8 or 2.5%, that looks pretty good. So now, although it still is a very slight seller's market, and I've said this before, it's more of a normal Orange County market that is almost balanced, tipped slightly in the favor of sellers. So it's not like the nuts market that we had over the last couple of years, where sellers could basically demand anything and buyers would have to pay. That is not the case right now. In fact, 2 weeks ago, put a home into escrow that's closing the day after tomorrow. Under asking price, we got a concession from the seller. They accepted our original offer, and the thing was on the market for 3 days. Now, those combined phrases, under market, seller concessions, 3 days, accepted initial offer, I haven't been able to utter those words in years. This graph here shows expected marketing time over the last 4 years. We are now at 61 days, a slight seller's market. Now that is not as warm as most of 2020 except for the COVID dip and at any time during 2021, but it's still definitely warmer right now than at any time during 2019. Now this shows something else very interesting. The second row from the far right breaks down the percentage of homes by price that have been on the market for over 60 days. Now the average for all of Orange County, 31% of the active listings have been on for more than 60 days. Even under $1 million, kind of the sweet spot, highest selling segment of the marketplace, the numbers are in the mid 20% range. Roughly 1 out of 4 homes under $1 million right now in Orange County has been on the market for more than 60 days. So again, it's a slight seller's market. No market correction is coming, but it's pretty close to even between buyers and sellers. So if you're a seller and there's something that isn't perfect about your house, you're probably not going to get an aggressive price for it, and it's probably going to sit there for a while. And if you're a buyer and it's not a brand new house on the market that is flawless and ready to go, you probably have a few days to think about it. You probably can negotiate a better deal with a seller. And if the house is one of those 1 in 4 average that have been on the market for more than 2 months, you're probably in a pretty prime situation as a buyer for those. Now, over the last 2 weeks, on the supply side, we saw a decrease once again. This time, it was about 8%. It has been over a month since we've had peak inventory in Orange County, and this decline is just going to continue week after week after week throughout the rest of the year. There is going to be no supply bubble of any kind between now and December 31st. So that pressure on buyers is going to get higher and higher because there will be fewer and fewer houses to choose from. On the demand side, we saw just a slight decrease, only a 1% decrease over the last 2 weeks. So because of this, we had a far bigger supply drop than a demand drop. Expected marketing time came down again. It's slightly warmer again for home sellers in Orange County. We're now at 61 days, which is a 4-day drop. Now, just like with supply, demand is going to slowly drop over the next few months. And then by the time we hit somewhere early, mid, even late November, that demand is just going to go almost down to zero. Very, very few people want to buy a house somewhere between Thanksgiving and Christmas. Now, by price, luxury inventory and demand both dropped by 4%, an almost identical drop. So, as a result of this, the $2 to $4 million range is in balanced market territory, although it was slightly warmer than it was 2 weeks ago, but it's still balanced. $4 to $8 million price range cooled off a bit, and it's solidly in buyer's market territory. And then above 8 million, expected marketing time almost doubled. So that's way into strong buyer's market territory. Now, another thing I should mention that has been going on. In the past 2.5 to 3 weeks, we had a pretty significant increase in interest rates. Take a look at these. The high for interest rates year to date was back in June. But in the last 3 weeks, we've had interest rates go from just over 5% to now just under 6%. We are now at the highest interest rate point for the year. Take a look at this here on the far right. This is as of last Friday, and rates have actually trickled up even a little bit more since then. By next week, we could see interest rates well into the 6% range. So that's quite a shift over the last couple weeks, and that may have an impact on demand as well. Now, let's take a look at a few cities. Costa Mesa is a slight seller's market. We had a 1-day increase of expected marketing time up to 62. The quantity of houses for sale in Costa Mesa is dead flat over the last 2 weeks at 105. Huntington Beach, also a slight seller's market, had a 1-day increase as well from 56 to 57 days expected marketing time. On the other hand, in Huntington, there are 20 fewer houses to buy right now, down to 235. Irvine got quite a bit warmer for sellers, dropping from 81 days down to 70 days expected marketing time, a slight seller's market. Part of that is because there are 13 fewer houses to buy in Irvine for a total of 383. Lake Forest got warmer. It's the warmest of all the cities we're looking at. We had an 8-day drop down to 52 days expected marketing time. That's almost a warm seller's market at that point, not just a slight seller's market. There's a 20% decrease in inventory in Lake Forest. That certainly had an impact on expected marketing time. There's now 85 homes to buy. And lastly, in Newport Beach, it's a balanced market. The only of the 5 that we're looking at that is balanced, and that's because of the high price range. We had a 7-day increase in expected marketing time up to 103 days. There are 15 fewer houses to buy in Newport Beach right now for a total of 151. Now, if you want more info on these cities or any other cities, you can contact me. Also, if you'd like me to show you the strategies that I would suggest in a moving, changing, transitional marketplace like this, whether you are on the buy side or the sell side, you can contact me. My number is 949-413-2371. You can also email me, michael@housemgroup.com. And then lastly, right here above my shoulder, if you're on YouTube, there's been a little letter I sitting there. If you click on that, that will take you to a landing page on my website, and we can set up a strategy session there. Thank you so much for watching, and I guess I'll see you in the fall. Will be the next one.